sitting on the former military installation of Fort Ord, California State University, Monterey Bay, also known as CSUMB, faces the consequences of being built on former military land. The school is surrounded by abandoned buildings and wilderness. It is patrolled by the spirits of soldiers who never left Fort Ord. Join me as I tell you a bit about the wandering spirits of CSUMB. Many CSUMB students consider the school to be kind of a ghost town, with an eerily low amount of students around sometimes. Many report getting feelings of uneasiness in places like the Tanimura and Anto Library. Others have reported soldiers dressed in full gear roaming the halls of old barracks turned dormitories. I want to give you some specific examples of these stories. As I mentioned before, CSUMB sits on a large chunk of what used to be Fort Ord. CSUMB is no stranger to unexplainable occurrences. In 2004, an RA at the school would experience a series of ghostly events. This student was a resident advisor, also known as an RA. RAs are fellow students who are paid to make student dorms a welcoming and safe place. She was an RA in Building 210, known as Tortuga. She would leave her dorm room unlocked whenever she was there for any student to come in and ask for assistance with something. She was doing homework at her desk when she heard a knock followed by someone walking into her room. She listened as the footsteps approached her bed and then heard the sound of the springs on her mattress compress as if something sat on them. She did not turn around to the sounds. The silence from the person who came in made her believe that her boyfriend had walked in. She began talking about her day for a few minutes. After no responses in all of that time, she turned around, only to realize that there was nobody in the room. Creeped out, she went back to her homework, only to hear something get up from her bed, walk to the door, and then proceed to open and close it. She got up as fast as she could, went to go look outside the door, only to see nobody anywhere. Weeks later, while at a friend's dorm room, her and her friend would witness the apparition of a military soldier sitting on a chair staring them down as they watched television. Her last paranormal experience at the school took place as she was patrolling the halls of Tortuga at 5 in the morning. She heard a large thud come from a window near the emergency exit door of the second floor of the building. She looked out through the window thinking she was being pranked by someone under the window. She saw nothing. She turned towards the hall and heard the loud sound again. The thud then started growing louder and louder. Fear of the window breaking was beginning to grow. She ran to tell another RA what was going on. When they came back together to look at the window, there was nothing to inspect. Everything was normal. The thudding had stopped. CSUMB is no stranger to unseen forces. The following story comes from a current student. I thought it was a great idea to start parking at Lot 59 because I don't have a parking pass and I did not want to struggle with finding a parking space. Well, that doesn't really matter anymore because I don't use that parking lot anymore after what happened. I left the library at 9:30 p.m. because I was busy doing homework and working on some personal projects of mine, and I forgot that Lot 59 is like half a mile away from the library. I put my headphones on and prepared myself for the walk. While walking down the road to my car, the lamppost in front of me began to flicker. I didn't think much of it until the lights in the reading center next to the parking lot started to flicker as well. I thought maybe it was someone messing around with me or some electrical issues, but I decided to stop and look through one of the windows of the building. As soon as my eyes focused on the inside, something darted from across the room into a corner that was out of my line of sight, and that's when I felt a strong shiver down my spine. My hairs began to stand on end as if I was getting goosebumps. Some of the scars I had previously had on my arm started to burn, like as if someone had put alcohol into a fresh wound. I don't know what that was all about, but I haven't gone back to that parking lot. CSUMB is not normally looked at in a paranormal light. Hopefully I've changed that for some of you. If you enjoyed, consider sticking around because I have more videos on the way. Thank you, and good night.